Okay, so today I'm going to be working on R2D2's leg. And here we've got just the setup of all the pieces at this point. So we have the shoulder harness, and we have the shoulder coupler. So that coupler goes inside there, your shoulder harness or your shoulder piece goes there. You have this booster, which has a little bit of a gap between the shoulder coupler and the booster itself. And then down here at the lower portion, you have this ankle piece. I don't know what it's actually called. But you have what's called a ankle bracelet. And the ankle bracelet is usually made out of metal, and it usually has this piece right here that runs across here. Well, for my setup where I have everything that's wood, there's no way I can make a metal piece that goes all the way around. And frankly, I don't think it's going to matter once I hook everything up. So this ankle piece basically goes right down between here. And as you can see, it does protrude up a little bit above this ankle piece. And so here it is above here. Now, normally, what I've seen is if you look at the full rendition, the photo of it, this center point is cut out. And that's so these pieces can slide into those points. See, because this little hydraulic piece right here is not supposed to be below this. It actually rises up and gets put inside this hole. Okay. You can do that, but you can also just sand this down a little bit, because this whole hydraulic piece right here moves back and forth along the rod. So you don't have to worry about that. So my thing is I'm not going to cut this out so this slides in. I'm not going to cut this portion out so this slides in. I'm just going to glue this piece and this piece to the actual piece itself once I do it. So you understand the concept here. So realistically, all I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this piece here. I'm going to cut up here. Then I'm going to go across here and then back down. Okay. So what I did is I took a piece of plexiglass that is 3/8 of an inch thick. And I spray painted it, primered it gray. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this down. I'm going to lay this down, and then I'm going to trace it, and then I'm going to cut the piece out, and I'll do a second one. And in my opinion, this is sturdy enough and thick enough to where it will be able to slide down. I'm going to end up painting it black. Then I'm going to do a chrome paint on it, because this is supposed to be shiny metal. So I'm going to try and use a chrome paint on it. If the chrome paint does not work, then I'm going to go back to rub and buff. But I want to try the chrome paint first and see how that comes out. Now, later on, I have the ability that if I don't get the correct angle on sanding this to go up against this to kind of make it flush, because the hydraulic piston is supposed to make it look like it goes right in here and it moves up and down. So in my opinion, it's not going to have a bearing on it. I think I'll be able to sand that in order to lift this up a little bit, and it should be fine. And we'll just go from there. So I'll record on the next point and we'll see what happens. Okay, so using a rotary saw, a Dremel, with a plastic cutter, I cut out the rough piece of the design of the ankle bracelet. Then I used my sander to kind of sand it down, get it to the right shape. Then I used some square files to make all the corners nice and square. Now, so this piece again is the ankle bracelet, primer side up. I always have to remember that. It slips down right there. And if you push it in, it goes right around the ankle, just like so. It's nice and thick too. You're going to be able to see that. Now here's where I'm talking about how I don't have the back piece. And it's a little bit longer than it should be right now, but that's okay because I'm going to file that down. I'll trim that down to where it's even with the back, and I'm not that concerned that there's not going to be a metal piece. Now, I may take a piece and just glue it on there, but it's going to be so thin, is it really going to matter? And the chances that it could fall off are more high than it actually retains itself. So this is the piece, and it fits on, I mean, really, really well. I push that down on, and it fits real nice. Now, so then the bottom piece comes up right there, and there's the oversize. Then we put this in the shoulder harness. We put this down, and then we take the booster, and we put that booster down here. And then we have our nice spacing between the shoulder hub and the shoulder booster. That you should be having that little space right there. So everything now is lined up. Again, this piece on the booster is actually, if I can get it out. Okay. Oh. So the booster is actually supposed to be up like that. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to, again, find the right angle and just sand it down and then make it look like it's actually going into this piece into here. Okay, so here is the second ankle bracelet, and here's the first one, A. So putting these just on top of each other fits very good. Now, if I take B and I slide it right on, look at that. Nice, beautiful fit right on there. On the back side, it's going to look really nice. Okay, so here is the second ankle bracelet, and here's the first one, A. So putting these just on top of each other fits very good. Now, if I take B and I slide it right on, look at that. Nice, beautiful fit right on there. On the back side, it's going to look really nice. So that's pretty much how you make these. Now, I'm going to cover these in primer, and then I'll do them black. I'll sand them after I primer them, get them nice and smooth. Then I'll paint them black, and then I'll chrome them, and I'll show you the final project of the chrome.